Alright, what is up? It is your boy Shinpon. You can call me Shin, and today we're going to be talking about which 5-star standard banner character you should pick for your selector in 2.7. Now, for those of you who don't know by now, standard banner 5 stars are all characters that you can lose your 50-50 on the limited banner. Where is she? Come on, come on, come on. I hate this game. And you can get them from the standard banner pulls. So those ones are going to be Himeko, Welt, Bronya, Gepard, Clara, Yanqing, and Bailu. Now, I would just like to preface, pick who you want or who your favorite is. You don't have to get anyone if you don't want to, because it's single player. Pull who you want, build who you want, have fun with the game. But not all characters are created equal, and that is true with this as well. Now, firstly, what I would do, my personal recommendation on what I would do personally would be make sure I have one of every character. So like if I'm missing one of these characters, like let's say my alt account, for example, I'm missing Welt. I will probably be choosing Welt on my alt account just because the idle ones will come with time, just like all the other characters. But that's why it doesn't matter, because you'll get them eventually as you keep playing and pulling. But we're not here to talk about what I'm doing. We're here to talk about what I would recommend somebody do. I'm not going to go over each character's kit. I'll give a very brief summary, the pros and cons, and who I think you should pick. So starting off with Himeko, she is a 5-star fire erudition character, so she excels at hitting enemies AoE, like her skills blast. Her ultimate is full AoE, and her talent allows her to perform follow-up attacks from breaking enemies. So she's actually very solid in super break teams right now, with Harmony Trailblazer and Fugui coming out. Her value has actually gone up a lot, especially with Pure Fiction. It's just, she's a great unit, and with the Herta being announced, people are speculating, you know, erudition characters, so she has a lot of value. I would put her in A tier right now because she's a very solid DPS regardless. But if you can, like, if you're starting out and you want to get a good solid team going, you could build Super Break with Harmony Trailblazer and Himeko. That's not always the case, you know, not everybody likes it, but it is a very strong, she's a very strong, solid character just in general right now, and she's just been slowly getting better and better with like Pure Fiction, Super Break, like I've said. Next up, we have Welt. Personally, he goes in S tier, but that is not the reality of the situation. And the reality is, he doesn't do anything very useful right now. Like anything you would bring him in to do, other characters can do it. Applying debuffs. Hela, Jiaocho, Black Swan, Silver Wolf all do that better than him. The only thing he does is imprison enemies on command with his ultimate, but there's no real way to kind of take advantage of that except for when you're using him as a sustain, as like a janky, gimmicky sustain with his ultimate to interrupt bosses' attacks. But that is like a very niche, otherwise you build him DPS, and there are other characters that do DPS better than him, unfortunately. So as much as I hate it, I think I'd have to put him in B tier because I think he is still very solid. I think there's just better characters for DPS, especially like with limited. You could do like, you know, Firefly, you know, all of that stuff. There's so many limited 5 stars. Next up, we've got Bronya. She is a 5-star Harmony Wind unit who was the best character in the game until Ruanmate came out. So almost an entire year she was the best character. It was deserved. She 100% action advances a single character with her skill, buffs their damage to an absurd amount, and her ultimate gives team-wide attack and crit boosts. So she's just very versatile. Her biggest weakness is skill point efficiency, because you don't want to be using her basic at all with her, so it kind of can make rotations a little clunky tier annoying sometimes. But even with that, getting her E1 makes it so much better. She gets the ability to reduce the chance of her like basically using a skill point. Like it'll refund a skill point half the time. So very lucky if you can get that off. She's insane. So she is going to be our S tier selector. So I think if you don't have her, or if you use her, get her Eidolon. That's probably your best bet. Other than like picking whoever you want. Gepard, he is an ice preservation unit. Personally, I would put him all the way in F tier, but that's because I lose all my 50/50s to him, and it's just a meme at this point. Objectively speaking, I'd probably put him in B tier, probably above Welt, because his shields are so strong, and he can apply freeze with his skill, and he can be skill point efficient, like positive, if you build him correctly. He just needs a lot of speed, effect res, and like defense and energy regen. So, but he can do the job. He is a great sustain, especially for like MOC, where making sure you're just not dying is more important than, you know, healing to some extent, because especially with now being able to get one shot, the shields really do come in handy. So I'd put him in B tier only because he's a sustain, and there are so many premium sustains. Like if you have Aventurine, Gepard's useless. Like everything Gepard does, Aventurine does better, except for applying freeze. And then there's like Fushuen, like for another 5-star preservation that a lot of people probably have. But between Aventurine and Fushuen, he's irrelevant. So that's the only reason why he's in B, only because he's a great sustain. Clara, I'm gonna put her in A because she's a follow-up character, and follow-up is a, you know, playstyle that gets like recognition regularly, and I think she's a very solid DPS. She's very passive, so like you can just, you know, use her as a skill point generator if you want, but the fact that she allows you to deal so much damage even when your opponents are taking their turns, because if she gets hit, or even with her ultimate, if somebody else gets hit, like she's just able to output so much damage consistently. And the fact that you don't need to build speed on her allows her to be more flexible with her relic rolls, so you don't have to worry about getting a bunch of speed rolls. You can just focus on attack and your crit stats, and then if like probably you want to run like effect res and like defense or HP, probably those three as well. But it's just because she's a bruiser, so she wants to get hit to deal damage otherwise, but like you get a bunch of those on your relics regardless, so that's more of a second, like an afterthought. Yanqing, I'm gonna put him in C only because who also performs follow-up attacks, but his talent relies on him being in the soul steal state that allows him to perform a follow-up attack, and if he gets hit and takes damage, he loses that like buff. He exits that state, so his damage is very inconsistent. Like his he can do really high damage, but you need to have him use his skill and then not get hit again to get his follow-up attack where his damage just goes above and beyond, you know, where it gets really good damage. Whereas like even Welt with his bouncing skill does more damage than him consistently, but it's just because it's consistent. And Yanqing, you need to have Gepard or Aventurine on the team to even think about using Yanqing. So the fact that he requires another 5-star character to function at like a baseline is really rough and really hurts his viability. Next and last but definitely not least, we're at Bailu. I'm gonna put her in B but below Welt because her sustaining is really good. I only got her in 2.0 and I struggled to get abundance characters. I only had Natasha and Lynx and Fushuen as my sustains up until 2.x because I don't like Gepard, so I never built them on my main account. Are you kidding me? I tried out Bailu and I like her a lot. Her damage mitigation with her invigoration is really cool. I think she's fun. Her talent allows you to revive somebody who, when they get KO'd in this type of game, if your character is getting KO'd, they're probably gonna die again anyways. So it's really just saying, oh, your characters aren't built enough for this fight, so come back and try it again. And that is it for this video. Let me know who you guys think you're selecting. I'm probably gonna be going for Bronya's E2 because I have her E1, but I might go for Welt, Clara or Himeko as well, like one of those four, but I'm definitely leaning the most towards Bronya just because she's in such an insane unit. Even with Sparkle, Ranmei, and Robin, and now Sunday coming, I think she still has a place in the game, especially because now she is officially a free-to-play character. Like, you can actually say she's free-to-play friendly now. And yeah, let me know who you guys are going to be selecting, or who you guys, the characters you're debating between, in the comments. Leave a like, you know, comment, subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Twitch. I have the link for that in the description. We play Honkai Star all the time. We play Zone Zero. Been playing a lot of Honkai Impact 3rd lately, so I'll be pulling Sparkle when she comes out, so make sure to stop by for that as well. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 10 p.m. CST. Make sure to stop by. Good luck on your pulls, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.